4 different characters got buffed in version 3.4, and today I'm gonna be going over what changed for every single one of them and showing you what they can do in current content. My name is Braxophone, but you can call me Brax, and let's go over all of the buffed characters in version 3.4. In 3.4, Jingliu, Kafka, Blade, and Silverwolf are all receiving different buffs to make them more competitive with current Amphorious characters. And I've gotta say, I'm really impressed with what they did here. Before all of the buffs went out, I made a list of things that I think Hoyoverse should do to make these characters better, and they delivered on pretty much every single one and more. But before I show you how strong they are, let's go over the details of what happened to every single character. For Silverwolf, she is actually the oldest character on this list, and she needed a lot of changes purely because she isn't able to keep up with all of the modern supports, or at least she wasn't until she received some amazing buffs. Silverwolf was strong in the debuffing department, but she was primarily single target, and she did use skill points in order to keep up with other characters competitively as far as debuffs go. Her ultimate was single target as well, and it really hurt her viability. However, after the buffs, her ultimate has been changed into an AoE, meaning it's going to be hitting every single enemy and shredding all of their defense the same way it did before, but this time she also has a higher base chance to inflict enemies with that defense shred, meaning she doesn't need as high of effect hit rate as she used to. On top of that, another issue that she had was that her weakness implant was too random. It caused her to not be super strong in some teams just due to the randomness of the weakness and the resistance shred that would be applied. And starting from 3.4, she now implants the weakness of the leftmost character on your team, taking the same coding logic from the Lushaka set. So whatever weakness you want to implant, you want to put that character in the leftmost slot. On top of that, her res shred got extended to 3 turns of debuff instead of just 2. And her all-type res reduction trace got included in her skill and the numbers got improved. That 3-turn debuff was already in her base kit, but it was in her traces, and that trace is now gone. It's just included in her skill. Lastly, she got her major traces changed pretty significantly, with one of them giving her energy at the start of her own turn and at the start of battle, with her getting some attack scaling based off of her effect hit rate, and an increase to the base chance to implant a random bug on enemies. Another bonus that Silverwolf also has right now is that her Eidolon 2 got upgraded. I know a lot of people who pulled for Eidolons on Silverwolf really early on in the game, and you're gonna be happy to know that this is very strong. Now, you don't get that permanent effect res shred, but you do now get increased damage received on any enemy who enters battle by 20%. That's pretty dang good. And then it also makes it so that all of your allies can implant bugs based on Silverwolf's effect hit rate. So it makes your debuff uptime on enemies so much better. Overall, Silverwolf got buffed a ton, and I am just so stoked about this, but is it enough to bring her back into the meta? Let's find out. All right, so here we are in the Silverwolf showcase. New shirt, new me. Let's get it. We have Acheron, Hyacinth, Silverwolf, and Jiaoqiu. Each one of these guys is gonna be E0 S1. Not doing the free-to-play showcases today, just because I want to see like kind of what these guys' potential is. And all of the characters that were buffed are 5 stars. We're gonna go ahead and use Acheron's signature, Hyacinth's signature, Jiaoqiu's signature, and then we're using Cypher's signature on Silverwolf. It's just too good. It's so good. I love it. Let's go and get into it. So I'm gonna Hyacinth's skill right off the bat, and we do have Crimson Knot on this guy, which I'm pretty happy about. We're gonna go ahead and use Hyacinth's ultimate, and we want to skill on Silverwolf. No, we want a basic attack on Silverwolf. That way we can get her ult regardless of if we skill her basic, but we can still skill on Jiaoqiu, which will give us his ultimate, which is super nice. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're not gonna use his ultimate just yet. We're gonna go ahead and skill here, save this, and then we'll skill with Acheron. That'll give us 2 stacks. Actually, I take that back. I'm gonna Jiaoqiu ultimate. That's gonna give us stacks on Acheron. And now they're gonna summon the fish. I mean, unfortunately, we couldn't get the defense shred on them, but that's what I was kind of hoping we could do. It is what it is. Totally fine. We're still gonna do 772k, which is pretty solid overall. We'll go ahead and try and stack up some of the Crimson Knot on the middle boss. Holy. And we're at 6 stacks on Acheron, 7 stacks on Acheron now. Ika is... That is like the luckiest thing that could have happened to us there. I'm gonna basic attack on Hyacinth. We're gonna activate Ika. Boom, massive explosion. And the stacks are not spread out evenly. That's kind of sad actually, but it is what it is. We'll just go ahead and Acheron ult. We shouldn't have any problems clearing out this first wave in 0 cycles. Yeah, there it is. So basic attack on Silverwolf to get some of our skill points back. Basic attack on him, he's gonna die to the dot. All right, so we've got 4 skill points going into this next phase, which is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and basic attack on Hyacin because I can. Then I'm gonna ult just right off the bat. Why not? We're not having any trouble with the uptime so far, so it works out in our favor. I'm also going to skill Svarog here, and hopefully we can get these Crimson Knots spread out so we get 3 on him. Not doing too bad, not doing too bad. All right, we're gonna go, oh, he got 7 on him, unlucky. We're gonna go ahead and skill on Jiaoqiu and then ult on Silverwolf here. Hate these Crimson Knot spreads because we're missing out on some damage every time, but it is what it is. It's become a lot harder to actually manage those with recent characters because there's so many ways to apply the Crimson Knot stacks, but now we got one on Svarog, so we are so back. Now we can focus on him. He's got the higher HP pool. That's why we want the Crimson Knot on him specifically. Okay, Svarog's got 4. Massive. He's got 5. Jiaoqiu ultimate's gonna be big. Give us another stack. We are gonna be able to... So we can skill on Silverwolf. So let's just do it. Why not? Basic attack on Jiaoqiu, and now we can basic attack on Hyacin as well. Our energy, we're really having no trouble with it at all, which is just so nice. We're not going to be able to 0 cycle with this, but I think we can 1 cycle now that we've started going. So let's go ahead and do this. Boom, boom, boom. Huge 739k. Pretty good, pretty good. I should have saved that for the hand. That was silly of me. That's okay. It's not going to grab my Acheron. Damn, so that is a crazy turn of event. That is a crazy turn of events. Wow, amazing. We're going to break Acheron out now. It's Svarog, guys. What can you do? What you can do is save ultimates, and I totally spaced out on that, but it's fine. Break her free right now. We don't have any speed tuning that we're worried about, so it's not the end of the world. The Hyacin thing is pretty unlucky and unfortunate, but I mean, if I just found a way to attack in time, it wouldn't be an issue. All right, Acheron, boom. Massive damage. Getting the 1 stack on the hand kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I think that this is actually doable in 1 cycle, but unfortunately, I don't have time to reset all day. We're not gonna do that. That's totally fine. 2 cycle clear with Acheron in modern day is honestly pretty good in my opinion. All right, we're at 7 stacks, and how much are we at with Silverwolf? We have 74 energy. Let's go ahead and skill. That way we can ult right here, get another stack on Acheron. I'm gonna basic attack on Jiaoqiu, and now we're going to attack with Acheron once more, and hopefully this does it. 9 stacks on Svarog. No, it's not gonna be enough. But it is close. It is pretty close. We are gonna get the 2 cycle, luckily. Go ahead and use Hyacin's ultimate once more. Another Ika attack. Nothing little about Ika. Gonna basic attack, Acheron finishes him here, and that's 2 cycles. So I think we could definitely do 1 cycle with the Silverwolf setup. I think that's doable. But there you go. Silverwolf feels like she impacts Acheron a lot more now, especially in AoE. That was like pretty dang good, I feel like, for the Amphorius runs. And even with huge mess ups by not saving ultimate for the hand when it came out, and then also letting Hyacin get stunned, like there was huge misplays in there. So 2 cycles I think is pretty dang good. I think with E2 Acheron, you're probably able to 0 cycle with just a Silverwolf plus like your action advanced characters like Remembrance Trailblazer or something. And even then you'll be able to replace other characters in this team with Remembrance MC, even at S0 and get good results. But yeah, overall, I feel like Silverwolf added a lot there. I feel like she was doing some pretty solid work. I'm a big fan of the update. I think it's really good. Next up is Blade, and this guy, dude, I can't even explain to you guys how shocked I am that we watched this guy go from a character who had fallen off so hard to being like a top tier character. This is really crazy. And it didn't even start with just the buffs actually, because when Hyacin came into the game and she got her light cone that also drains HP from your party, Blade's damage massively increased. Drippy was also a really big deal for him, but the HP gain. But yeah, overall, I mean, he was seeing a lot more play actually, which is really cool, especially considering that we had other HP scalers that drained HP as well. But now with his changes, oh man. First off, they got rid of all attack scaling on Blade. There's no more attack scaling at all. Yeah, this weird dual scaling thing, it's not there anymore, right? It's just all HP. You don't have to, I mean, you didn't really have to worry about attack to begin with, but now it just means that he's gonna have a much stronger kit because all of those multipliers are towards his HP. Now, one massive change that happened to Blade is that he now gets a massive taunt value from using his skill. Now, this is actually, I need you guys to understand this, bear with me. Preservation Trailblazer, with their actual taunt, will have about 500 taunt value. Blade, with this, it's not an actual taunt, by the way. It's not like a debuff. He gets 1,000 taunt value. This is the highest in the game, and it's not even close. So that means he's going to be taking a lot of damage, which means that the frequency of his follow-up attacks is going to be a lot higher. This also means he's going to get more energy because he's going to be hit more frequently. On top of that, he got another trace change that's going to allow him to regenerate 15 energy whenever he does his follow-up attack, and it's also going to increase his follow-up attack damage by 20%. And on top of that, his ultimate now tallies up healing as well for a portion of the damage that he does. His enhanced basic attack that's going to be consuming his HP also is going to be counting towards your tally, and overall you're just getting a lot more tally damage, which makes his ultimate feel very strong. On top of that, if you go look at his Eidolons, his E1 has also been adjusted, so now he's going to be getting a massive damage increase on his basic attacks and his ultimate, in line with 150% of the tally of his HP loss from his ultimate. So basically this just means he hits really hard with his basic attacks and ultimate, and because he is a standard banner character, E1 may be reachable for you. All of these changes also make Ninja Record Sound Hunt even better with him, which is also awesome if you happen to pick this up. And guys, overall, Blade is so much stronger. But let me show you exactly how much stronger. All right, welcome to the Blade Showcase. I cannot wait to show you guys how this guy plays. So we're using his max potential team. We're not gonna be using Eidolons, but we do have E0 Dance Tribi. We have E0 S1 Blade, E0 S1 Sunday, and then we're also using Hyacinth's Light Cone. This is probably the most important part because when the wearer uses a basic attack, skill, or ultimate, it consumes all allies' HP. So essentially, whenever we use anything on Hyacinth, we are actually buffing Blade. We're giving him another stack towards his follow-up attack. So it's a very big part of the buffs that he received. It was indirectly as a result of this new character. So we're gonna go ahead and use our skill. We're gonna use our ult. It's gonna give us another stack. So every single time we do anything with Hyacinth, it's going to give him another stack towards his follow-up, which is just absolutely amazing. And keep in mind, healing from Hyacinth also counts towards tally now. So that's a pretty big deal. We're at 5 stacks already, 100K, basically not super buffed yet. We're gonna go ahead and Sunday him forward. Now we're gonna ult. Now that we have the Sunday buff, and now we can Sunday ult onto him. 202K, pretty dang good. Gonna go ahead and Sunday ult here onto Blade. Tribi's gonna get to use her ult. We're gonna attack with Blade and then we'll Tribi ult. So the reason we're doing that is so we don't mess up the speed tuning with our Sunday Blade system. I think I technically could have done it, but I didn't want to risk it. So now we're gonna take the opportunity to use skills a little bit more frequently because the healing tally counts towards his ultimate, which is going to be really massive for his overall damage. Okay, he's gonna get a huge follow-up here. 207K, disgusting. With how frequent he's getting these, it's amazing. It's amazing, it's genuinely amazing. Oh, we're gonna ult here, and 300K here. Oh my God, it's not even the same character. All right, we're getting attacked. We're getting attacked. Oh, bye, Tribi. Okay, Tribi's doomed. Except we can, in fact, we're gonna basic attack with Hyacinth. Follow-up is massive. Ika is massive. Nothing little about Ika. We're gonna ult once again. It's gonna be another Ika here. Oh my gosh. And these fish are gonna blow up and hopefully also blow up the other guys so that way we can do this in zero cycle. Let's see. And if not, we do have Sunday still able to pull us forward. So we'll do this. Sunday forward, and we are hurting for skill points, so we'll have to keep that in mind for this next wave, but luckily these guys are doomed. So good stuff. I'm gonna go and just ult right off the bat. Why not, dude? Blade is doing so much more damage. Blade is going to have to skill again, and then we're gonna have to skill with Sunday, so I am gonna basic attack here with Hyacinth. Give us another stack, 161. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use Dance and pull us up a little bit. Dude, what did Ika ever do to you? What the heck? I'm gonna go ahead and skill with Blade and give us another stack. We're gonna basic, skill and forward Sunday. You guys already know the deal. You guys know how this goes. And 155, decent. Oh, and keep in mind, so every single time we do this follow-up attack, we are getting even more energy. This is probably one of the bigger buffs to Blade. It's just making it so that way he's getting his ultimate much more frequently. And he's also now getting tally from, like I said earlier, healing. So it kind of makes his overall damage output just a lot higher. All right, now we can skill once again to add to his tally. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, he's gonna summon the hand. I'm gonna actually use my ultimate on Hyacinth right now, just to try and do some damage to the hand. That's also gonna trigger Blade's follow-up attack. So hopefully we can just break this thing right off the bat. All right, and actually we broke Svarog, so we didn't even need to break it. Absolute cinema. We're gonna go ahead and Hyacinth skill for more healing tally and more Ika damage overall. Basic attack with Blade. We're gonna action forward him before we ult, so that way we get the buffs, and now we can ult. Check this out. 438. It's so sick to see this guy so strong. Uh-oh. I miss Hyacinth. I made a mistake. I made a fatal error, but that's okay. At least Blade and Sunday are unaffected, so now I can just skill on Blade, follow up. Absolutely massive. Basic attack, Sunday him full. Oh, that's rough, buddy. I miss Hyacinth. I really miss Hyacinth right now. Okay, we're back. Her turn had just started, luckily, so we are good to go there. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna want a basic attack on Hyacinth probably, which is gonna give us the follow-up we need to be able to get our ultimate once again. And it's looking like this guy's gonna 2 cycles Svarog. We do need to wake Sunday up though. That is not ideal, but that's totally fine. We're doing okay right now. We don't need to reskill on Blade, so skill point wise, it's just not really an issue. We are going to go ahead and ult Blade. Oh. -1 Blade attack. That speed tuning is unfortunate. That's okay. We are going to take advantage of this healing. Oh, I should have action forwarded him, but it's fine. We still have some of the buffs from last time. 101k single target. 36 from Ika. It's nothing super crazy. We're going to go ahead and do this, and hopefully this is enough to knock Svarog out. 110k. He's got 14% HP. 204k. I see you. I see where you're coming from. Or we're going to go ahead and skill. Iga's gonna do the rest of the damage to Svarog, I feel like. We're gonna go to action forward and watch us, cinema. With 1 basic attack, he will dispatch Svarog. Tier 0.5 may be reachable for him, maybe even tier 0, to be honest. He's competing with some of the Amphorius characters for clear times. So he and Acheron both now have 2 cycles with their modern teams, which is amazing. Genuinely, it's amazing. Just to give you guys a rundown of the build that we're using too, so you guys are aware of everything. The 138, 74, 170, we are running the Longevous Disciple set, and on it we have crit damage, speed, wind damage, and HP with the Bone Collector set, because he is now full HP scaling and he's going to be running a lot of HP. So yeah, man, I'm really happy with the Blade changes. I think they're great. All right, now this is one that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. Kafka is one of the most popular characters in this entire game, and unfortunately, damage over time teams are just so hard to play in the current timeline. The problem with Dot right now, and the way I see it, is that there's only one character who's really able to just absolutely trigger over and over and blow them up with all the dot damage. And not to mention, the dot damage just doesn't really hold up to the current standard of Amphorius characters. So what they would need is more triggers, essentially. And that would mean doing something like giving her more follow-up attacks and also letting her follow-up attacks trigger dots the same way her skill does. Well, they delivered on more than that, actually, and I'm quite impressed. First off, they did increase the amount of follow-up attacks Kafka can store at a time. Right now, it's 1 per her turn, and it's triggered by an ally basic attack. But they've changed this so that way she gets a follow-up attack once on her turn, and she gets her other charge from using her ultimate, so she can store up to 2 at a time. She also will now trigger the follow-up attack whenever your allies attack at all. It doesn't matter if they use a basic attack or a skill, either one of those 2 will trigger the follow-up attacks. And now the follow-up attacks also trigger dot procs. So essentially your ability from your skill that would trigger dot on the target, the follow-up attack is doing that now. But to make matters even better for Kafka, her skill now triggers dot procs on all enemies hit, not just the main target. So the adjacent targets are also going to be taking dot scaling from Kafka. But that's not all that Kafka got. She also got this this really funny passive that makes it so that when an ally has 75% or more effect hit rate, they will get 100% attack bonus. So Kafka's obviously going to get this by default if you're building her right, and other teammates of yours are going to be able to build 75 effect hit rate to gain 100% attack. Now, if you guys don't know, attack and effect hit rate are actually even in their scalings, in their substats, and all. So because of that, this means buy 3, get 4. Spend your substats and your main stats to get that effect hit rate to 75 on Kafka, Black Swan, and you get 100% attack, which is going to be an extra 25% more value than you would normally have. The funniest part of this is that this is actually a Robin buff. It is unironically better to build your Robin with 75 effect hit rate when playing with Kafka than it is to build her with 75% attack, because if you build her to 75% effect hit rate with your Kafka, she's getting 100% attack, which is gonna make all of her buffs even stronger as well. So when you're playing Robin with a Kafka now, you're gonna want to build her 75 effect hit rate. We could really use those artifact relic loadouts right now. Now, one fun thing you can do with Kafka is the tutorial light cone, before the tutorial mission starts. This, when it's max superimposed, it gives you 8 energy whenever you attack a defense reduced enemy. Now, this is a really big deal because follow-ups will also affect that energy, which means that Kafka can, in a lot of cases, reliably 2-turn ultimate. On top of that, it just makes the effect hit rate a little bit easier to hit the threshold, but you can actually, you don't even need ER rope for this. The thing is, with her consistency with her follow-ups is going to make it much easier for you to hit that threshold of energy that you would need to. So if you don't have her signature light cone, you can totally just use before the tutorial mission starts, and this thing ends up just absolutely smacking people around with the amount of ultimates you get on Kafka. And keep in mind that more ultimates on Kafka also means more follow-up attacks and more dot proc. So very strong method. If you don't have her signature, this is probably the next best thing you can do, assuming you're playing her with Black Swan. And in addition to all of this, her Eidolons 1 and 2 got buffed as well. The combo used to be when using a follow-up attack, you would have a base chance to cause the target to take more dot, but now it's just whenever you use an attack, so it doesn't have to be a follow-up attack. Her E2 also used to be a 25% damage dealt increase, now it's a 33. So overall, Kafka's gonna be triggering a lot more dots and going to be doing it a lot more frequently. I think this is a great buff for her, and with the Robin increases as well, we're gonna see some pretty good usage out of her. I don't think it solves all of Dot's problems forever, but it does solve some problems that she had initially, and let's see how it holds up in today's content. All right, and here we are in the Kafka showcase. Let me show you guys what's up with Kafka and all of her buffs. So right now we're running Kafka, Robin, Black Swan, and Huohuo, all E0S1, and look at these attack stats, by the way. The Kafka 100% attack bonus is going so crazy right now. Even Robin, we have her built with effect hit rate. Now, we're a little over 75, but she's basically getting like 25% bonus attack from this compared to what she would normally have if those stats were replaced. So this is a really big deal, and I can't wait to show you guys how this works. It's really impressive. So let's go ahead and start off with Robin's skill, and hopefully Robin will take a little bit of damage here, so that way we can get closer to her ult, and we did. That's actually good. Okay, so we can go ahead and skill here. Kafka follow-up, which is just, it's fun. I love the follow-up being so frequent. Now we have 2 charges of it. You can see down here. We're gonna go ahead and skill over here, and then when Huohuo attacks, that should also give us another Kafka follow-up, which will be almost enough for Robin's ultimate. We're gonna just do this and bring us forward, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of these ads like really fast, so that way we can debuff the other enemies and get this done in 0 cycles. So, or this first wave done in the first cycle, the 0th cycle. 377 is crazy damage. Okay, 221. With all of the follow-ups from Kafka, you can tell dots are doing pretty dang well right now. 115k on the follow-up there too. Oh my gosh, guys. That is so crazy to me. Have not gotten used to this general power increase being so dang good. We're gonna skill on Huohuo. That should give us enough to ult, because we're running that energy regen rope, and then we can also get the energy towards Kafka and Black Swan. This should blow up a fish, which should blow up both of them, and help us shred defense on the enemies as well. Now they're both down. Let's do it. And once the enemy starts moving too, they're gonna take a ton of dot proc damage. 518 on 2 targets. That thing just blew up. They just exploded entirely. The follow-up from Kafka. Oh my gosh, guys. It's gonna take me a while to get used to that damage. It's gonna take me so long. We go ahead and skill with Kafka, 146. Dude, I'm feeling so good about these numbers. Like how frequently they're happening, it's just great. All right, for Black Swan, we have the basic attack. Whoa, we're gonna basic attack as well. We're gonna focus on Svarog because he has more HP. Task completed successfully. We got everything done within Robin's ultimate. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's pull everyone up. Try to get as many actions as we can. I'm gonna go ahead and skill on Kafka once again. Dude. And because this is her turn and because she used the ultimate, that means that she's got 2 follow-up procs now, which is crazy big. We're gonna also do this. He's gonna summon his hand. Oh, he's broken now. He's gonna summon his hand though. Unfortunately, I might have to Black Swan ultimate the hand here. I should have probably used that before Ho-Ho's ult, but that's okay. I'm debating, yeah, let's just do this. Knock it down 2. So that way, no matter who they pick up, we can break them out. Hopefully it's not Kafka though.
Hell no, man.
You know, I don't know what I was expecting. I probably should have seen that coming. We're gonna just, yeah, that should have been like insanely obvious what was gonna happen as soon as I said it. Wow. All right, man. It's fine. Skill, do some damage. Ult, do some more damage. Now we got even more follow-ups, and hopefully we don't just immediately die. Yeah, no, we're fine. Robin's gonna come out. So if you guys don't know this, when you have Robin's ult ready and she comes out of this form, you might as well just throw a basic attack to get a skill point back before you go into it. It's a really helpful thing if you're just trying to make sure that everyone can attack coming up. A basic attack, make sure you use the ult on her turn still. It's a pretty easy way to get an extra skill point if you need it for your DPS coming up here soon, but we actually need it for Ho-Ho, so we're gonna, oh my God, dude, 150k follow-up. It's just so funny to me. Oh, Ho-Ho's like literally 2 energy away. 1 energy, it's even less than I thought. Oh my God, that's fine. We can go and just skill on Svarog. It's gonna blow him up in the hand. And then this guy's gonna move and take a ton of damage. Oh, here we go. This is big. We're gonna go ahead and use this as well. Black Swan's ultimate on Svarog, huge. And let's go ahead and skill once more. See, the damage we're doing is like so consistently good, and it's so consistent in general. Like it's just happening so fast. That was like a ridiculous amount of damage to output all at once. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go ahead and basic attack here. I don't know why I keep saying oh my gosh, like I'm some kind of host, commentator. Guys, I'm just YouTuber. I'm just a guy. I'm just doing the thing. Let's basic attack. And it looks like, oh no, Kafka's got this. We can just basic attack with Robin. It doesn't matter. Boom! And that is 2 cycles. And you know what is so crazy about that is I actually almost had it in one of these times I was testing it out. It just all depends on the RNG, who gets hit, and how you deal with actions and Robin. But 2 cycles on Kafka too. So far, all 3 of the characters that I've showed you guys have done 2 cycles, which is insane for characters released so early in the game. These buffs are really doing wonders. And if you guys want to see my Kafka build just to see kind of like what I was running, that way you guys can, like, I don't know, just like actually physically see it. We are at E0, and then also we're running the dot set, the prisoner and deep confinement set. We're running effect hit rate body because she gets that attack bonus. Speed boots, we're running a lightning damage boost orb and an attack rope, and this is on the new Revelry by the Sea set. So you're able to get the full 3600 bonus because of her attack passive. It's like really easy to hit it, and honestly we're hitting it even out of combat, but even if you don't have that much, you're gonna be getting this crazy dot damage increase, which makes it better than Glamoth even, because Glamoth is 20% damage bonus. But keep in mind, the enemies are going to be taking more dot hits than your actual skills and stuff. So it ends up being pretty ridiculously good. Yeah, I'm so impressed with Kafka's buffs. I hope that this means Dot can hold out for a long time. But she's definitely back up there at the top tier unit section. And last but not least, we are on Jingliu's buffs. Dude, this is a different character. I mean, she plays exactly the same, but you wouldn't recognize the damage. It is so crazy. Now, the first thing that you might have noticed is that she's on Mighty's Light Cone. Mighty's Light Cone increases max HP and makes it so that you consume HP whenever you use your skill or ultimate. This is in addition to her normal consumption, but also gives her some damage bonuses. The reason this is so good, in addition to it having high base HP, is because Jingliu is now fully HP scaling. If you choose to use this enhancement, she's going to be dealing damage based off of her HP. As you can see, we're at 8,600 right now, decent amount, and her damage is ridiculous. Though I am going to be honest, you definitely don't need this light cone. This is just essentially her new signature if I were to give it a title. But if you already have her previous signature, it's not worth pulling for this one unless you're married to her like I am. Now, some things that haven't changed, she is still getting her 50% crit rate, so you don't have to worry about that. But one of the bigger problems she had was not the crit rate, was not the amount of crit damage that she built, and it wasn't the buffs that she gave herself. It was the fact that she was so oversaturated with stats that the only things they could do was either switch how she scales or increase her overall multipliers, which honestly, it wouldn't feel that good considering how the new HP meta is turning up and how she plays with HP. So what they did, they swapped her over to HP. As far as builds go, you are still going to be using Scholar Lost in Air Edition. That's what I used, but with the HP scaling changes, you can now use the Bone Collection set, and that one is going to be pretty dang good because she's easily going to surpass the 5,000 HP. And for her build, I have her on an HP body, HP boots, ice damage orb, and an HP rope. The reason you want to run HP body and HP boots, well, technically you only want to run HP boots if you can actually reach a decent enough speed. So you need a lot of speed substats, but you can run HP boots, otherwise run speed boots, and then you just don't need a crit body because you get so much crit damage from her new update, and you already got 50 crit rate. So you're easily able to get good crit, especially when you consider your other supports. Another issue that she had is that her state, her enhanced state, wouldn't stay up very long, and it created a lot of problems. Now, one of the solutions that I thought they should do is that they should have made her E6 into her E0. By that, I mean you start with 3 stacks of Syzygy. I wanted it to give her 3 stacks by default instead of the 2, and then let her stack up to 4. And that is exactly what they did for E0 Jingliu. Her E0 now stacks up to 3 enhanced skills to use on the enemy, which helps with their uptime and honestly helps her maintain that uptime significantly better and easier. But I'm gonna be real, guys, she got the most changes of anyone because there's a lot more to talk about. Another buff that she got is she's actually going to gain crit damage whenever your allies receive damage or consume HP. She gets 1 stack of Moonlight and you can get up to 5 stacks at talent level 10. That's giving you 44% crit damage, which is massive. At 5 stacks, that means you're going to see 220% crit damage on Jingliu, not accounting for any of your other stats in that enhanced state. And to help even further with her uptime, when your allies get hit or take damage or get HP consumed 20 times in total, she will get another stack of her enhanced state. Now, it sounds like 20 times is a lot, but there are new tools in the game that allow us to do even more with that. Hyacinth and her signature light cone allow you to actually subtract more HP from your entire team, and as a result of that, you are going to see much better uptime on her overall. In fact, I'm pretty surprised if I drop uptime at all with this character right now. She is so unbelievably good at maintaining that with the Hyacinth light cone. Now, she also got some buffs to her major traces. The one that used to just increase her ult damage when she's in her special state now also gives 35% effect res, so it combined one of her old major traces into this one, leaving her room for one more brand new major trace, which is going to allow her to get extra energy when she uses her unenhanced skill, and a little bit of extra energy, less than the unenhanced, but she does get a little bit more energy on her enhanced skill as well. Again, helping with uptime because you do get your extra stacks of enhanced state when you use her ultimate. They also just got rid of the 10% action forward on her basic attack and added a brand new major trace, so 2 brand new major traces whenever she gets Syzygy at max stack. So if she's at 4 and she gets another one, her next attack will ignore 25% of enemy defense. So absolutely crazy changes for Jingliu. This is just E0. Her other Eidolons also got improved, which I'm very excited about as an E6 Jingliu haver. First off, her E1 got enhanced, so now she gets 36% crit damage instead of 24. And the damage got switched from 100% of attack to 80% of max HP, which is still going to probably be stronger. Her E4 also got a massive buff, so currently Moonlight is giving 44 crit damage. This makes it so every stack of Moonlight gives 64 total crit damage, which puts you at 320 crit damage instead of the 220. So absolutely disgusting. And then E6 for E6 havers is going to be a little different as well. Actually, it's going to be a lot different. First off, she does still get the 1 extra stack, so you are just going to be able to hold a ridiculous amount of them, but she also gets 2 stacks of Syzygy right off the bat, and she's getting 30% ice res pen. So for E6 havers, really based Honkai Star Rail players, that is incredible. Now, my only gripe with this is that she didn't actually get any changes to her light cone. I know they didn't change anyone's light cone, but I wish they did, because now if you want to have her best in slot light cone, it's actually Mighty's light cone. But either way, her damage is insane, and I just can't wait to show you this. All right, guys, so here we are, finally, on Jingliu. I genuinely am so happy to see this character get the love she deserves. Totally unbiased, by the way, totally unbiased. Not only has her damage gotten better, but her uptime has gotten better. She feels so much better to play. It doesn't feel like when you lose her state, now you just have to sit there and wait and then watch the cycle pass as you're trying to get her back into her enhanced state. No, she is so back and better than ever. forever. And today I'm gonna be playing E0 S1 Heisen, E0 S1 Sunday. We're gonna be playing Dance 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 Tribi, and then we're running Mighty's Light Cone on Jingliu just because that ends up being her best in slot. Now, the Sunday Light Cone is totally unnecessary. You guys don't have to run this. I'm just running it because that makes it even with all of the other teams I had been running. But the Heisen Light Cone, I would argue, is like a Light Cone that you very much want if you're playing Heisen with Jingliu. The reason is because every time she does a basic attack, skill, or ultimate, she's gonna drain 1% of all of your allies' HP. And Jingliu now has that passive inner talent that makes it so that after 20 HP drains or getting hit or HP getting consumed in some way, shape, or form, she gets another stack of SysG, which is going to help her stay in her enhanced state even longer. So without further ado, I've been yapping so long, but you guys just have to see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly how it works. This changes everything. Unironically for Jingliu, this does change everything. It's been something amazing to see this play out. So I'm gonna go ahead and skill, put us in our enhanced state. And as you can see, let me move out of the way. As you can see, we actually have 3 out of 4 stacks. This is her E6, but it's actually E0. She's an E0 unit right now. They just made her E6 into her default, which is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and skill real quick, and then we'll use Sunday to pull her up, and then we'll ult with her now that we have all the Sunday buffs, except for his ult, but I don't want to waste energy because that's uptime. We're gonna make sure we don't waste any energy here. Sunday ulting straight into Jingliu here, and hopefully Sunday doesn't get stunned. He's been stunned the past 6 times or so that I've tried to record this. I'm really hoping that that's not an issue that we'll have to deal with, but we'll see. We will see. Oh, it's Tribi! Wait, that's so good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and use Jingliu's skill, 603K. My God, that is insanity. Now I did mess up the speed tuning with Dance Dance Dance, but I think these guys are still gonna die anyways, because we're gonna pull up Jingliu one more time. Jingliu's gonna attack this target in the center, destroy the fish to the right here. That's gonna give her ultimate. And now we can use the ult on the leftmost enemy, and they're gonna just die, and we're gonna move on to the next wave. Absolutely insane. Now, it is a little odd to be missing Tribi, but we're not hurting for skill points at all, so I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully they'll attack Hyacinth, and she'll be able to ult here soon. But as you can see, we're at 4 stacks, sitting comfy. We're not having any problems with keeping up stacks whatsoever. 357K. Move her forward, get to go again. And we're still at 3 stacks because she gained another one. I don't know, dude, this is just such a funny interaction. We're gonna go ahead and basic attack, and then we're gonna use Hyacinth's ultimate, and that should get us back into Ikaville here, where he's just gonna start charging them like crazy. So the damage overall doesn't feel that insane compared to like the highest damage you were hitting with E0 Jingliu before. It's still very good, don't get me wrong. But it's nothing that's like super game breaking in difference. What is different is that her ult uptime is basically 100%, especially if you're playing that highest in light code. You really feel that difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and skill with Tribi because we have the skill points, and then I'm gonna ult so that way we can move everyone up a little bit. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get the 0 cycle, but this team wasn't meant to 0 cycle. That could be a completely different video, which I might just, that's like a little passion project, an homage to the new Jingliu. 453K on 2 targets is good. By the way, that's pretty damn strong, especially for a unit made when she was, and we're still not hurting for stacks at all. Don't take Sunday. Don't take Sunday. Take Hyacinth or Tribi. You know, not what I was expecting. It's not as bad as it could be. We're gonna go ahead and do this, and we're going to do some damage to the hand here. Hyacinth's gonna attack the hand, and then, oh my gosh. Okay, Jingliu is back, but not in front of Sunday, which is unlucky. In fact, that's like the worst thing that could have happened to us here. So we're just gonna roll with it. Now our speed tuning's all out of whack, but you know, gonna go ahead and ult, and then we can ult on Sunday as well. 589K. Okay, we take those. I was really hoping for the 1 cycle. I think it was, maybe it wasn't gonna happen this run. 650K, dude. Oh my gosh. All right, now we're back in speed tune, so now we can action forward them. It doesn't really make that big a difference. We're just kind of re-upping Tribi's ult, but we're gonna heal so Ika does more damage, and we should kill in cycle too. Yeah, I think this is probably the character that was closest to doing a 1 cycle in my testing, or I did actually get a 1 cycle with her one of the runs, but I mean, so it doesn't always happen. 242K single target's good, especially when that's her ultimate right before her skill is 280K. Oh my God. Oh, and something else I want you guys to think about before before we finish this, all of the other characters didn't have to deal with an extra 20% resistance. Jingliu against Svarog actually was dealing with 20% resistance, actually to all of these bosses, because all of the elites and all of the bosses didn't have ice weakness, which means that they were inherently stronger to ice type damage. So all the damage you're seeing from her is actually going to be higher against ice weak mobs. Something to think about. But anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Big Ika here is just gonna mess with Svar. Oh yeah, no, there we go. Oh my gosh, you know, I'm so bummed that's that didn't go better, because I feel like all of the other runs I had been doing were going so well. But if you guys don't know, I record these live. I don't reset unless I absolutely have to, so it's a pretty realistic showcase of what might happen to you if you get unlucky with things. But it is what it is. Either way, 2 cycles with Jingliu, and she got snatched by Svarog. That's pretty good, and she can definitely 1 cycle, and even with the right team setup and speed tuning, 0 cycle. She's probably received the most changes of any. No, she has received the most changes of any of the characters that got buffed, and they were all good changes. I know it's a bummer that you have to go farm HP stuff now, but in my opinion, to make this character viable again, I think it's absolutely worth it. Yes, she could get things done in X amount of cycles in the current game, but it feels so much better to have a character that's older, be able to push numbers close to the M4 Ace units, and in some cases even better. So I'm stoked for the Jingliu update. I think it's great. After looking into all of these buffs, I really feel like they did a great job with everything. You know, I was predicting a lot of the buffs that would happen, and I'm so glad they ended up going with what I was hoping they would, because it absolutely fixed like all of these characters and even went beyond my expectations. I thought these characters were gonna get buffed and then just be like, you know, they're just like, all right, you know, they're better than they were before, but like they're not gonna compete with new units. But in some instances, they are competitive with the new units, and it's really impressive. Overall, like I feel like I can actually recommend getting these characters again. Now the downside is that I recommend getting the supports more. Like I highly recommend getting Sunday, Hyacinth, and Tribi over getting one of these buffed characters, just because these guys are what allow the buffed characters to do so much damage, right? But overall, it's really quite impressive how well they have shaped up. So, you know, if you were someone that was like, oh, I really like Kafka, but I don't want to get her because she's not meta, she's a lot better now. I do think that dots still have the problem that is they need more characters that can just trigger dots, because like if the entire dot archetype revolves around Kafka or necessitates Kafka, it's going to create some issues, I think. But right now, her strength at least is in a good place. Blade is a great dual DPS too with some of the newer units, and so Jingliu can also be played with Blade. And now that she drains HP and she wants to have HP drain to keep up her stacks, you know, there's even value in her running with other HP scalers as a dual DPS as well. She doesn't take that many skill points, so everything is just super great. And finally, Silverwolf being AoE is just generally an amazing support. Like she just does Pela stuff, but much better than Pela now. So I'm super happy with everything. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, or if you guys want me to do this for future buffed characters, let me know in the comments down below. And I will catch you guys in the next one. We're really grinding out 1,000 videos this week. So thanks for all the support. Appreciate you.